Welcome to Vintage Story. In this video, I will show you my progression to the Copper Age. Enjoy the video as this is my first time editing. We first start off with the character creation screen, making a Italian Asian mafia boss? I don't know where I was going with this. What I did know was the class I was choosing. In Vintage Story, there are many different classes, and the one I chose was Malefactor. I don't know how to say it, but it gives me more loot from animals, foraging, and pots from ruins throughout the world. It does make me weaker, however, with less health, throwing and shooting range, and less melee damage. Starting off on the coastline, I explored around, finding a ruin and getting some grain. Ooh. Okay. It's good. I then headed more inward, getting horsetail for healing later and sticks. Looking at the map, I see a large river that I decide to head to. While heading there, I get flint, nap a knife, and get some black trumpet mushrooms. When getting the mushrooms, I find a glitched spot. I don't know why it generated like this, but okay. At the glitched spot, I find a tree leaking resin on 2 blocks. Further down the river, I find berries to eat and harvest cattails. With the cattails, I make 4 baskets, which increase my inventory to hold 12 more items. Time to take some psychedelics. While still feeling the effects of the mushroom, I find a room containing pots of food and seeds. Realizing it was turning night, I cut some grass and crafted into a bed. I then dig into a hole to sleep in AFK until day. Once it was day, I go out and explore more to try and find a good spot for a base. I think I'll go here. Yeah. After putting down my stuff at the new spot, I harvest more cattails to make reed chests. Oh my god. I then cut down a tree for firewood and started working on a base. Even though the base wasn't the nicest looking thing ever, it did protect me and my belongings from rain and creatures. This allowed me to start making pottery, first starting with collecting a clay deposit I found nearby my base. I then sculpted the clay into a pot, 4 bowls, and 4 crocks. These will be used for better, more compact food like porridge. First, however, before it turned night, I quickly put them into pit kilns to harden as a campfire doesn't get hot enough. I then made a storage vessel with clay to fire later and nap a hoe head for farming. Clearing out space, I till a lot of the land and plant the seeds I foraged. This would be useful for food and linen, as flax crops are the only way to get it. I then collected more clay for the storage vessels while waiting for the pit kilns to be done burning. I also dug up peat as it made pit kilns burn faster. During that little trip, I also found a ruin having a torch holder. That's a lucky find. This is useful as normal torches burn out after 2 days of being placed, but torch holders make them infinite. While I was out there, I also looked around for copper bits on the ground, only to be very unlucky and find none. Coming back to my base, I find the pottery I made done cooking. This allowed me to start making meals to store food better. Due to the pit kilns being open again, I started to fire the storage vessels I made earlier. After firing, I go on another expedition for copper. Coming back to my base, I only found one patch of copper on the ground, which I will soon find out is very normal for this world. While waiting for the storage vessels to be done burning, I cook more porridge for me to eat. Finally, after sleeping, the storage vessels were done cooking. These would be useful for food preservation and general storage. Getting into the world the next day, I immediately noticed changes. I could not tell you why this happened, but a wolf, a bear, and a trader spawned nearby my house. I did not spawn these in, and have no clue why relogging did this. Something weird is going on with this world. Going over to the trader, I found out that it's a building materials trader. This would not be really useful unless I decide to heavily decorate the buildings I will make. I then start looking for copper again. After that trip, I got 4 copper bits from a patch that I found and 7 more from a pot. I then start to dig a pit to trap the bear and wolf nearby my house to kill. After killing the bear, I then try and trap the wolf, which didn't go so well. Realizing the pit was too deep for the wolf to fall in, I harvest the bear and make it 2 blocks tall. When going out to get more firewood, I realize my crops are being eaten by animals. Before dealing with that problem, I render the fat and start to turn the hides from the bear and wolf into pelts. Setting those down to cure, I get sticks from trees to make a wattle fence around my farm to stop animals from eating them. After doing that, I do yet another expedition for copper. I would soon find out that being on top of this mountain was a big mistake. Shit. Respawning in the ocean for some reason, I head back to my base. After getting some food and sleeping, I go to my grave. I assume that the wolf was on low health from fall damage, causing it to try and run away from me and not attack me. Still desperate for copper, I look around even more for patches on the ground. Yet again, only finding one patch of copper, I decide to try something else. Panning was another way of getting copper, with a 15% chance of giving copper nuggets. After getting enough copper nuggets to have 40 copper nuggets in total, I form a crucible, pickaxe mold, and hammer mold out of clay. Putting them into pit kilns, I then start to cut down trees for firewood. This firewood is then put into a pit, adding a campfire on top, and then covering the pit. Once done waiting, I collect the charcoal, get the fired molds, smelt the copper, and pour the copper into the molds with tongs. Letting them cool, I put the heads onto sticks, officially putting me in the Copper Age.